There is a detail in this story involving the team that deserves attention. Picture the scene. You have an elite player, a guy you just brought to your roster, someone who could change the offensive culture, and then, 6 months later, you let him go without even making a serious offer. Sounds crazy, right? It seems like the front office fell asleep at the wheel. But what if I told you that this decision might have been the smartest one the Cubs' management has made in recent years? We are talking about Kyle Tucker. The same Kyle Tucker who signed with the Dodgers for $240 million over 4 years, $60 million per season. One of the most expensive contracts of the offseason. And so far things are not working out. An OPS plus of 96, worse than the league average, a batting average of .239, 3 home runs in 29 games, and the defense, also far from that excellence we used to know. The remaining question is, did the Cubs see something the rest of the market did not? Let's talk about pressure. When you sign a $240 million contract, you are not just receiving money. You are buying expectations, demands, spotlights 24 hours a day. Every hit you miss becomes a headline. Every defensive mistake turns into a meme on social media. And look, Tucker is not alone in Los Angeles. He is surrounded by stars. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani. Theoretically, this should ease the pressure, divide the weight. But apparently, it is not working like that. Because when you make $60 million a year, the fans do not care if there are other guys producing. They want you to produce. They want a return on the investment. And now, with Tucker hitting below the league average, every game without a home run, every strikeout in a decisive moment, it starts to weigh heavy. The psychological pressure of a contract like that can freeze even the best ones. And Tucker, despite all his talent, seems to be feeling this weight. Cubs fan, leave your like on the video if you follow the team every day, because what we are going to discuss now explains a lot about how modern baseball works. There is an important detail here that many people forget. The Cubs saw Tucker up close the entire 2024 season. They knew exactly what they had in their hands, and even so, they made no effort to bring him back. Why? Because the front office does not operate on emotion. They operate on data, projections, risk analysis. And when you look at Tucker's trajectory at the end of last season, you can understand the hesitation. He had a brutal drop in performance after that mid-year injury. Sure, the injury explains part of it, but does it explain everything? Did the Cubs see signs of wear and tear that other teams ignored? Because look at this. Tucker is 28 years old. He is not old, but he is also no longer that 23, 24-year-old kid with room to grow. And the Cubs had already seen enough to know that paying $60 million a year would be a giant risk. So they made the hardest decision, letting him go. And so far, it looks like it was the right decision. Let's get to the facts. An OPS plus of 96 means that Tucker is 4% below the league average on offense. To put this in perspective, an average MLB player has an OPS plus of 100. Tucker, with the third highest annual salary in baseball right now, is below that. A .239 average, an OPS of .688, 5 doubles, 3 home runs in almost 30 games. And the defense, that skill that made him one of the best outfielders in the American League, also gone. He is not showing that agility, that instinct we used to see in Houston. Of course, it is early. The season is long. Tucker could click at any moment and make the Dodgers look like geniuses. But so far he is looking like a $15 million player making 4 times that. And meanwhile, the Cubs are playing solid, competitive baseball without having a $60 million a year hole in their payroll. Here is the big catch. The Cubs did not stay still. Instead of spending a fortune on a single player, They distributed the money, bolstered the bullpen, invested in young talent, maintained financial flexibility to make moves during the season. And you know what that means? It means that if an interesting trade appears in July, if an opportunity to sign someone in the middle of the year comes up, the Cubs have room to act. They are not tied to a mega contract that limits all other decisions. That is modern team management. That is thinking long term. And so far, it is working. So, were the Cubs smart or did they get lucky? I think it was a bit of both. They saw the warning signs, trusted the data, and had the courage to let an elite player walk away. And for now, that bet is paying dividends. Tucker can still turn the game around in LA. He has the talent for it. But every passing week with him below average, every game the Dodgers lose waiting for him to wake up. The clearer the Cubs' wisdom becomes in not entering that bidding war. Because at the end of the day, baseball is about value, and paying $240 million for 4 years of uncertainty, that is not value. That is desperation. The Cubs chose the hardest path, and so far, it seems like it was the right path. Now I want to hear from you. Was it luck or front office competence? Leave what you think about this story in the comments. And if you believe the Cubs made the right choice, share this video with that friend who still thinks we should have kept Tucker. See you in the next one.